Morning there, Brett. Just want to preview day 2 of the Laumaran's Queen's Plate. It's set out to be a fantastic day's racing, and we want to go through the runners on the day. So let's start in race 3 with Gigi's Dynasty on him and where he is at the moment.
Troy, happy with him. He's come along nicely. He's improved with each run. Only got beat to length last time. Finished his race off well. He's drawn 6. I think he's definitely a horse that needs to be included in your place accumulator and the like. So competitive race, but he'll run well.
Wonderful. And let's move on because we've got 3 runners into race 4. It's a 3-year-old BMW Politician Stakes, and it's an 1800 meters for these 3-year-olds, and they're all improving. Can you sort of make headway on the first runner? Maybe let's go with Sonatla.
Troy, he's done very little wrong. He's won his last 2, albeit he is only off a rating of 84. He jumps from pole position 1. His work at home's been really good, and I think he'll relish the extra furlong. So he's definitely a horse that is on the up. And it's a very competitive race. I think we'll see a Derby prospect come out of this race. So I'm happy with Sonatla. He's working well, and I think he's definitely a horse that could go into the quartets.
Perfect. And so he's also 1-2. The other of your runner that's also 1-2 is Hoodoo Magic. He's obviously faced older company and is higher in the weighting because of that. Can you talk to me about his draw and his prep going into this with Cornet aboard?
He's had a great prep for this race, Troy. It's been in the back of our mind for quite a while. I think he's going to relish the 1800. He jumps from a great draw of draw 4. And like I say, he's just, his form is faultless since we've put him around the turn. And I really think he's going to appreciate the extra. So for me, he looks amazing. His work's been great, and I think he's a definite contender.
And then Magic Mike. So almost seems like he's in the deep end because he hasn't won 2, but he won so impressively in his win, and he looks like a progressive sword. Can you sort of give us your thoughts on him?
Troy, he's doing very well. He's a lovely horse. This race may be a little bit soon for him. He does have a wide draw to overcome. But, he's a horse that's done nothing wrong. Every time I've brought him to the races, he's just kept impressing me and improving. And his work at home has been exactly the same. So I think, obviously, from the draw, we would have to give him a chance and let him finish his race off. But it wouldn't surprise me to see this horse run through them. He's a really smart horse, and we're going to see a lot more of him in the future. So if Saturday's not too soon for him, definitely a horse to put in your pick 6s and PAs, and a definite quartet inclusion.
Quartet inclusion. And now we don't to talk about the competition in this race. The big money horse, or the talking horse, is Twist of Fate on his big run. And do you sort of see him going to the front maybe from a wide draw, or how do you see the pace going if not him?
Well, I think with 61 going 1800 for the first time, I think it won't be easy to take him to the front. I'm not sure if they'll ride him the same way. But obviously, from draw 12, they'll either commit or they'll drop him out. Like you say, his Guineas run was a great run. He's obviously the highest rated horse in the race, but obviously going the 1800 for the first time. So, I respect him, but I do think there's other horses in the race that have done very little wrong. Bunker Hunt, I think, has to be included, yes. As well as Bulgarian. He's been impressive in his 2 wins to date. So all in all, like I say, a very nice race and a real indicator to the Derby.
Quality field, you mentioned that. Let's go on to race 5. It's another staying feature. We've got American Landing in there, and it's the Glorious Goodwood Peninsula Handicap. He takes on a competitive field in Eyes Wide Open, who's a Group 1 winner, Magnificent 7, who's also feature placed. Can you tell us about him? He had one prep run since coming back from Joburg, and could you sort of help us read through the form and what his prospect is for the race?
Look, Troy, he's got a lot to do here. He comes in off a bottom weight, but he is actually under sufferance. So it's not going to be easy for him. He also has the widest draw of all to contend with. But in saying that, we know that he'll relish the 1800. It'll obviously be a good yardstick for us to see what he's potentially capable of. But it is, as you say, a big step for him. And, you know, obviously horses like Eyes Wide Open and Elusive Silver, I think will be hard horses to beat. But he's well, and, you know, he could well get into the back end of the quartet.
And we're at 52 kgs. We didn't really mention that. He's sort of one of the dark horses at that weight. Thanks for that. And then let's move on to our feature runner. So the Group 1 Laumeren's Queen's Plate. We've got Undercover Agent. Can you tell us sort of what he's done, what you've done with him since that race in the Greenpoint?
Troy, he's done exceptionally well. You know, he went into that race, obviously only his second run back coming from Durban. I feel that he was a little bit soft that day. He's had a gallop off subsequently, put up a really good piece of work. He looks absolutely amazing. He's had a faultless prep coming into this race, and I couldn't be happier with his preparation. So I know he's definitely a horse that's capable of pulling this off. I think it is one of the most competitive Laumeren's Queen's Plate we've seen in a long time. But as I say, I wouldn't swap my horse for any horse in the race.
That's very confident and on his run. You would have to be. Let's talk about the competition here. And Legal Eagle, obviously unbeaten at over the mile, and he's going to go and get a fourth, I believe, Queen's Plate. Rainbow Bridge, an unknown in this type of Group 1 quality. He did show a really good flashing run on the outside, and then do it again was quite surprising that he needed to run the last race and has shown good quality again in his Group 1 form. Should we be talking about Snowdance in that conversation? Have a preference?
Look, I think all the horses you mentioned, Troy, are all good horses. Snowdance, the only filly in the race, but, you know, she has to be respected. She has run second to Undercover, so, you know, if you give Undercover a chance, you have to give her a chance. A race that race goers need to come down to Kenilworth tomorrow and have a good look at.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. Let's move on to race 8. It's a stayers race. We all love a good staying race. It's over 3,200 meters. It's the Heineken Chairman's Cup. And we've got a really good feature runner in Gimme One Night, who's actually won his first feature race with Lyle Hewitson. He's going on 3 on the bounce now. Will he stay the trip?
I think he'll stay the trip, Troy. You know, he does everything right in a race. He switches off. He's got a good late finish. He's got a fantastic galloping weight of just 53.5, and I thought his last win was really impressive. So there's no reason why he shouldn't get the trip, and I'm quite excited to see him run. So I think he's a definite chance on the day.
Find the Kenilworth Straight to find the finish.
Yeah, a very small field, only 8 runners, so long way for them to sort themselves out. We do like to come from off them, so I'm not worried about anything there.
Okay, perfect. So worth including Gimme One Night. And then a handicap. So we've got Perfect Summer in race 9. He's a son of Patala Palace, and he's 1-1. Can you sort of help us go through that with him?
Yeah, look, his first run out the maidens was a very good run. He only just got beat. He does have a wide draw to overcome draw 14, which won't be easy, but we are on the long run in, so that'll help. So I think he's a horse that must be included in your pick 6. It's a very competitive race, so I would add a few with him, but he'll run well.
Perfect. So let's move on to one of the last races. It's a super competitive sprint race. It's race 10. We've got 4 runners, the Sky Vodka handicap. Let's start with Buana. He's a super pacey, trippy, and he's won, I believe, 3 races and looks improving. And
Buana, he's been doing very well at home. He runs with the earmuffs today, so I'm expecting another game run from him. Nasty Harry always does of his best. He's an honest horse. I do feel he's a little bit better with a softer ground, so it might be a little bit difficult for him, but he's fit and well. Trippy's Express ran a much better race last time, finished his race off really well. He has a great galloping weight and would definitely be a horse to put in your quartet. Basco Street Tractor, first run last time with earmuffs, only got beat 0.8. Once again, a very nice light galloping weight. A definite inclusion for your quartets in the last.
Thank you for listening to the Intibet podcast with Brett and I. To summarize for you, we've got the betting from Intibet for Gigi's Dynasty. He's at 9-2 and worth a shout, 15-20 a place. Hoodoo Magic, he's probably the strongest of the fancies in the 3-year-old race. He's 13-2 on Interbet currently. He's 29-20 a place, so he's an each way shout. Magic Mike, also an each way shout. He's 12-1. There's value there. 13-5 a place. Sonatla, he's 11-2 a place, and Brett recommended back end of the quartets. And let's move on to American Landing. Also, similarly, back end of the quartets, he's 15-4 a place and 20-1 a win. Undercover Agent in the big one, he's probably our strongest runner on the day. We're super excited for him. He's currently 15-4, and he's probably going to shorten more. He's 11-20 a place. It must be included in everything, all perms, all bets. Give me One Night as a favorite. He's a short favorite at 5-2. And he's won his last feature race and goes further today. He's 4-10 for a place. Perfect Summer, long odds on him. He's 20-1, and I see some serious value at 9-2 a place. Must be included in your perms. Buona and the speed races are probably our preference. He's 6-1. The betting reflects this as well. He's 14-10 a place. Nasty Harry is 10-1. Chippy's Express is 14-1. Vasco Street Tractor 13-1. So lots to look forward to there. If you're playing your multiples, Undercover Agent's probably our strongest runner on the day.